On this fourth day of our trip, we left the Dan Panorama Hotel in Haifa. We made our way through the hilly streets that were dampened by the cold and the rain that confronted us on and off throughout the day. This day was dedicated to partnering with our Miriam colleagues. Miriam is the organization of Reform rabbis that live in Israel, and most of them were ordained in Israel, native Israelis. I learned that there were about 120 Reform rabbis now in Israel, which is a lot, but a drop in the bucket compared to the number of Orthodox rabbis. We wanted to hear about their experiences and about what they've been doing to assist their friends, families, and communities to get through this difficult time. Many of them are with congregations that are quite small because they are placed in areas that are growing in Israel, but it is up to them to find Israelis who are attracted to Reform Judaism. Many of them started with 2 or 3 people, but have now ended up with sizable communities. As we listen to their stories and we listen to their pain and the pain that they're dealing with as they minister to their communities, one rabbi in particular, who was from Ukraine, talked about her journey from leaving a war zone to coming to Israel, and here we find another war zone. Her family's still back in Ukraine. Her community is both Ukrainian and from Russia, so a mixed community. Deciding on what language to use, Ukrainian, Russian, was a reflection of one of the challenges that she had to face as a rabbi. And eventually they did settle upon using the Russian language, although at some point it might have brought some pain to the Ukrainians. But they came together as a community, and the war did not divide them, the war in Ukraine. And they were here committed to being part of Israel and being Israelis, and they were there for one another. Later on, we went to a place that is an interfaith place, which has, in normal days, offered programs for thousands of people in Haifa. And Haifa is a proud, diverse city in which Arabs and Jews are known to get along and cooperate. And this interfaith center, in fact, is decades old. It is founded in such a way that the municipality gives it the majority of its budget. And so it is called Beit Ha Geffen, which is the house of the vines, or the house of grapes. And as you enter into it, you see different rooms that are labeled, and one of them is called the space, and the space has unique artwork and a window into their courtyard, which has even more unique artwork, which was made by the community. And in this space, literally, people are given space to talk about their truths and their challenges. And there are facilitators that are very much a part of this organization. And we were able to have frank discussions about what was going on. The elephant in the room was, although we did have one Arab participant who's a Druze, and she spoke about the challenges of her identity being Israeli and being Arab, being Druze, we did not have any Muslims. At this time, it's not possible. You may ask, well, why isn't it possible? And the answer is multifaceted. But you can imagine, just as Jewish Israelis are going through pain, those who are Muslim Arabs are going through their pain and how they interpret the war against Hamas. From what I understood, everyone is on the same page that Hamas is a terrorist organization, but not everyone is on the same page with respect to how the war is going in Gaza. And this, again, is a center where people are supposed to be able to tell their truths and share their pain. And it is continuing despite the war efforts, although the challenges and struggles remain. We traveled from there to another unique place, Leo Beck, which has about 2,500 students in Haifa, of which 200 are not Jewish, and they pride themselves by creating a community and a spirit where people of different faiths do get along. And at the heart of this is an experience of a community garden in which about 40 families participate every Shabbat for many, many years, tilling the soil with the motto that you reap what you sow. And it is a metaphor in a very powerful way that when you work in this community garden, everyone is equal, and the spirit is to cultivate the soil, to give the produce out to those in need. And they show up week after week, and from that there are bonds and friendships that have been forged over the years. And the war has not destroyed this. It has allowed them, again, to understand each other's truths, but not to let that get in the way of their friendships. We heard probably 8 to 10 different people who are involved in the project with a sense of pride at how they not only tilled the soil, but nourished their friendships. It was one of the most inspiring aspects of our trip so far. Driving back to the hotel, we took a different route, which was along the coast, and you looked at the Mediterranean, which is normally blue, but now it was gray with storm clouds overhead. Again, it's not normally the Israel that I come to, which is bright with sunshine. This, it seemed as if the rain that fell were teardrops that touched us and reminded us that the Israel that we are visiting today is not necessarily the same as the Israel that we visited perhaps a year ago, or over the course, in my case, of decades of experience of being in Israel. October 7th changed everything. When you say everything, well, that is a moving target because their emotions change from day to day, and it depends what community within this diverse country they are part of, whether they have family members who are literally fighting in Gaza or loved ones who have been gone for months and were reservists taken from their homes with small children and are part of the war effort. The people from the north have been moved to the center, and the people from the south have been moved to the center. Everyone's seeking a place to be safe and feel safe until this war unfolds and is resolved. You may ask, well, what happens the day after? And their feelings and emotions are too raw right now for them to understand or contemplate what will happen the day after when the war ends. They are very much in the moment, concerned about the hostages, concerned about their loved ones and their lives. But they emphasize again and again that Israelis of all stripes are resilient and that they will make their way through this for one simple reason: they have no choice.